Hey folks, how we doing? Mr. Carter here, ready to do HomeLink 7.5. Go ahead and put your name on this if you haven't yet already, and let's begin. So, we are multiplying mixed numbers by whole numbers. So we're going to do a couple of number stories here, and then we have some practice problems here at the bottom. So let's take a look at number one. We have Michelle's grandmother sent her 5 small gifts for her 5th birthday. Each one weighed 1.5 pounds. How much did the gifts weigh altogether? Well, she got 5 gifts, and each of them weighed a pound and a half. You got to go 5 times 1 and 1/2. Now to do that, I wrote it here on another piece of paper to just give me some more room. To multiply 5 times 1/2, you got to break the 1 and 1/2 apart. So you got to break this into 1 plus 1/2. And then you got to multiply 5 by each of those. So I'm going to put this in parentheses here. We're going to multiply the 5 by 1. And then we're going to multiply the 5 by 1/2. So if I go 5 times 1, I know that'll equal 5. And if I go 5 times 1/2, I go 5 times 1, because when we multiply a whole number by a fraction, you got to just multiply the whole number by the numerator, so 5 times 1 is 5, and the denominator stays the same. So you have 5 wholes over here, you have 5 over 2. Now, that together would make 5 and 5/2, but we don't usually have a whole number and then an improper fraction together. So we're going to take this improper or top-heavy fraction and break it apart in 2 wholes. So I know that 2 over 2 is 1 whole, and another 2 over 2 would be 4/2. That would be another whole, and we have 1/2 left over, so that would be 2/2 plus 2/2 plus 1/2 would equal 5/2. So now I know that this is 1 whole, this is 1 whole, and plus 1/2. So we can't forget this 5 over here, and we got to go 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1/2. So 5, 6, 7.5. So that would equal 7 and 1/2. So that is our answer. That's how many pounds all the gifts weigh. So that would be 7 and 1/2 pounds. Between what 2 whole numbers is this? Well, that's between 7.5 would be between 7 and 8. Now they're asking another question here. How many ounces did the gifts weigh? So we know that, I'm going to use this piece of paper again, that 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So if we have 7.5 pounds, we're going to go 7 and 1/2 times 16, because for every pound you have 16 ounces. So again, to do that, we've got to break this fraction apart. So I'm going to break this into 7 plus 1/2. Then I'm going to multiply both of these by 16. So I'm going to go 16 times 7. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to add that to 16 times 1/2. Okay, so 16 times 7, if I stack it over here, I'm just going to do my work on the side. 16 times 7, 6 times 7 is 42. 7 times 1 is 7 plus 4 would be 112. So we have 112. But we have this over here, 16 times half. So if I go 16 times 1, that would be 16 halves, which I know is 8, because if I go 16 divided by 2, that would be 8. So then I go 112 plus our 8 would be 120 total ounces. 120 ounces. Okay, let's look at number 2. Rochelle bought 4 pieces of ribbon to finish a project. Each piece was 1 5/12 yards long. What is the combined length of the ribbon she bought? So our number model with our unknown, again, she's got 4 pieces times each piece being 1 5/12. So that would be our number model with our unknown. We can go equals y here for our unknown for yards. All right, so again, we'll do this on another piece of paper. So we got 4 times 1 5/12. So again, we got to take this mixed number and split it up. So we're going to go 1 plus 5/12. That equals 1 5/12, right? So we're going to go and we're going to multiply that by 4. So we're going to go 4 times 1. And I'm going to go plus 4 times 5/12. So I know that 4 times 1 is 4 plus 4 times 5/12. Well, 4 times 5 would be 20/12. So now again, we have a whole number in a top-heavy fraction. So we're going to take this fraction and break it apart. So I know that in 2 wholes. So 1 whole would be 12/12, and that leaves us with 8/12 left. So we have 1 whole plus 8/12 plus, we can't forget that 4 that we had over here, 4 plus 1 plus 8/12 would be 5 8/12. Okay, so I wrote my answer here. It's 5 8/12 yards. Between what 2 whole numbers is this? It's between 5 and 6. So now we're asking how many feet is this? So we know that 3 feet equal 1 yard. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to take that 5 8/12 yards that we have and multiply it by 3 feet. So again, we're going to break this apart. So we're going to go 5 plus 8/12, and we're going to multiply that by 3. So we're going to go 5 times 3, and then we're going to add that to 8/12 times 3. So we know that 5 times 3 is 15, so we're just going to leave our 15 here for a little bit, and then we're going to figure this one out. 8/12 times 3, well, 8 times 3 is 24, and their denominator doesn't change, so that would be 12. So we know that 24 over 12 is 2, because I know that half of 24 is 12. So this, and I can prove it by going 12/12 plus 12/12, and 12 plus 12 is 24, and that's 1 whole plus another whole. So we got 1 plus 1, and we can't forget our 15 that we had over here, so we're going to go 15 plus 1 plus 1, that would equal 17. So again, how many feet is that? That would be 17 feet. Okay. So now we're going to do 3 times 4 and 5, 6. All right. So again, you're going to take your 3, and we're going to multiply. We're going to break this apart. So we're going to go 4 plus 5, 6, put in parentheses. So we're going to go 3 times 4 plus 3 times 5, 6. Okay, so now we got 3 times 4, that is 12. We're going to leave that here, and then we're going to add it back later. Then we go 3 times 5, 6. So 3 times 5 is 15, and our denominator doesn't change, so it's 15, 6. So again, we got a whole number and a top-heavy fraction. So we're going to need break this apart into wholes. So we're going to go 6 over 6 is one whole. I could do another 6 over 6 because that would give me 12. That's 2 wholes. And then I'm left with 3 6. Because I go 6 plus 6 is 12. 13, 14, 15, 3, 6. So we got 1 whole here, 1 whole here, and 3 6. And we can't forget our 12 that we had over here. So 12 plus 1 plus 1 plus 3 6 is 13. Sorry, 14. 12, 13, 14, 14, and 3 6. Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and write that over here. 14 and 3 6. All right. So now we're going to do 6 times 7 and 3/8. Oh, let me go back. I forgot to do this part. Between what two whole numbers is this? Well, 14 and 3 6 would be between 14 and 15. All right, so let's go and do 6 times 7 and 3/8. So again, you got to break this one apart into 7 plus 3/8. And we're going to multiply the 6 times the 7 and 6 times the 3/8. I'm going to have you try this one on your own, see how you do with that, and we can talk about it tomorrow when we go back to class. Let's look at our practice. We're adding fractions to review with like denominators. So I'll do 5 and 7. So when we add fractions with like denominators, we just add our numerators. So 3 fourths plus 2 fourths plus 1 fourth. That's 3, 4, 5, 6 fourths. Or you can go 1 and 2 fourths. Now when you take away, when you subtract fractions with like denominators, again, you just subtract the numerator. So 5, 6, take away 2, 6, you would be left with 3, 6. And that's it. All right. If you have questions, let me know. Hope this was helpful.